What is the deal, you guys? It is your girl, Fallon Favors. Yes, back again for another episode of the Baby Mama Chronicles. Thank you so much for joining me once again. If this is your first time here, welcome. You are now an official member of the BM gang. Tap in. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. I do want to make sure you're tapped in for anytime I drop some new content. I want to make sure that you're engaged with me, dropping comments and all of that. And we're going to go ahead and get into the video ASAP. So today we're doing another real talk video. You guys know my real talks are very candid, open, honest, off the cuff. There's no scripting, no journaling, no notes. I'm just picking a topic at random and we're kind of just shooting the ish about it and having a conversation. You know, make sure you guys drop some comments. I want to make sure you're engaged and I want it to really be kind of like an open form discussion, right? Jealousy. Today we're going to focus more so on woman to women type of jealousy and friction. All my males that, you know, and my men that in my tribe of men that are following and subscribing and dropping comments, we need you here. Thank you so much. You are appreciated, you know. But today we're going to go ahead and focus on the ladies because, you know, it's funny. One of the last videos that I posted on Instagram, you guys will see it in one of these corners. I will make sure that I upload it here. But one of the last videos that I uploaded on about Instagram and about guys liking pics on Instagram and all this stuff, right? There's a lot of things that kind of lend to this conversation in that same regard. I hate to keep throwing Instagram under the bus, child, you know, but it is like the mega platform for business owners, people that are out here trying to get their name out, just doing other things, staying connected. There's all these other reasons why we're on Instagram all the time, every single day, right? But I think it's important to know also that if we're not being careful about what's coming through our timelines, we are in danger. We are in danger of being susceptible to influences that we may not even want. If you have not done a cleanse of your timeline, which is essentially going through your timeline and unfollowing anybody that you don't resonate with, unfollowing anybody that doesn't make you feel good about yourself, that doesn't keep your vibration and your energy high, cut them off, unfollow them, whether they be male, female, family member, friend, any of it. Just make sure they have to go, right? Because you need to have a clear line of vision, and the things that are getting sourced through you, you need to make sure that they are uplifting you and not tearing you down or playing on your insecurities or triggering your insecurities. If you have not done that, again, you are super susceptible to being in this position where you're constantly comparing yourself. You're constantly looking at other women and what they have, what they're doing, where they're going, what they've accomplished, you know, they man, you know, their children, all kind of things, you know what I'm saying? Their friendship circles, like you have to be so careful. It's that serious. And in addition, based on the other video that I posted not too long ago, again, about the Instagram, why guys like girls pics on Instagram, there is a clip that I posted where you see a young girl, because I just want you guys to understand kind of like some of the biological connection that we have within us as women that kind of promotes more of that competitive nature amongst us, right? And so the young girl couldn't have been no more than 9 months, was pulling the beard of her father away from her mother, okay, the woman that birthed her, pulling her father's beard away from her mother, away from his wife, so that way he wasn't giving her any type of attention and keeping her from and preventing her from kissing, you know, her baby daddy and her husband. Now this comes from a 9-month-old child, baby, innocent angel baby. It is biological. She has not been conditioned to do anything like that yet. She has not been trained to kind of have that competitive nature amongst her, you know, at this point. She biologically felt the need to protect her environment by ensuring that whoever made her feel secure or content or happy or whatever she deemed as maybe hers energetically, child, she made it known like, girl, you're not about to kiss my father, not in front of me. You better do it on your own time, you know? So it comes from somewhere. And again, when I thought about doing this topic, I did have it notated in my notes that I wanted to do it. I probably will have to pick a more centralized focus about it just because the topic is so broad and there's so many different ways that we can go with it. But again, for the sake of the conversation, we're just shooting it. We gonna talk about more so just like women on women competition and jealousy amongst each other. I think we really have to start thinking about where these feelings come from. And this is something that I also want to preface with. I don't care who you are, okay? How old you are, how young you are, what you've been through, what you've experienced, how fly you are, how jiggy you are, any of that stuff, right? Every single woman, young girl, grown woman, whatever, has experienced the emotion of jealousy before. with another woman, okay? Pure, flat out jealousy, probably a little bit of hating, you know what I mean? Just depending on how far your jealousy goes. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we are signed up as human beings to experience the entire spectrum of emotions, even the unfavorable ones. So it's not like it's a point at you, because I've definitely been there too throughout my life. And it's something that we have to, at least before we even start having a conversation, be able to admit that we've experienced that. If you're not ready to admit that, girl, log off my page. Just, I don't know, go to one of the other girls that's not really doing the accountable thing. So I think we really have to start looking at the roots of some of our issues as it pertains to other women. How we grew up, you know what I mean? What was the nature of your home? You know what I mean? Did you have a mom, some sisters, some aunts, grandmas? What type of women were they? Were they women that encouraged you to follow your dreams and to, reinforce your beauty and how you feel about yourself? Were they women that were upwardly mobile and just you saw them out and about showing love to other women, even women that they didn't know? You may have went to the grocery store with your grandma one day and you saw that your grandma saw another lady with a really nice dress on and she complimented her, right? Or just little things like that. What type, did that happen in your household? Did the women in your household make you feel empowered, make you feel strong, bold, beautiful? If you were not infused with a lot of that energy from your female counterparts in your familial situation, you are going to see that play out later on in life, because we need the validation of our sister circles. Okay, we need validation from our mothers. We need validation from the women in our life to be reflections of what it is that we want to be. And so if something that we want to be is beautiful, successful, high vibe, whatever our goals are, we need to see that in the women that we have around us. And if we do not, we're going to get reflected back potentially what their ideologies or concepts are about women. And to be honest with you, a lot of women have not come to terms with the fact that we, one, have that competitive nature within us biologically, and then two, that they've ever even experienced that kind of low vibrational emotion before. You know what I mean? So I would definitely start thinking about your familial situation. How did you grow up? What kind of women did you have around you? Was that something that you saw practiced? Just that love on your sister to sister love. Was it something that you saw frequently, or maybe not? Next thing you got to start looking at too is, how do you feel about yourself? That's probably like the underlying major point of the whole thing. How do you feel about yourself? Really, honestly, and truly. We are going to continue to do this work. I am so excited to be working with you guys. I am so blessed, and I feel so pumped up to be able to connect with you guys so we can kind of get over the hump of our insecurities, because I promise you, right on the other side are all of our gifts that God has promised us, all of the different things that we are born to do, and we can kind of get over those humps and some of those like subconscious blockages, right? So it is very integral, okay, that you are getting in the mirror as often as you can, ladies, as often as you can. And getting in the mirror can definitely mean like sitting in the mirror and just kind of like having that one-on-one conversation with yourself and looking in your eyes. That's definitely helpful, and that definitely will show you how ready you are to face yourself. If you could look at yourself head on and actually, be looking into your own eyes. But this can also mean, facing yourself could also mean, I do a lot of self-talk by myself when nobody else is around. I'm an only child by my mom. So I'm used to, having to be my own friend and talking to myself and developing a healthy relationship with self and really loving on myself as I would an outside friend or an outside party. And so you have to find some space and time to really get in touch with how you feel about yourself. It is going to predicate everything, okay, that you have around you, including how you feel about other women, those that you know and those that you don't know. If you are not confident and secure within who you are as a woman, what your gifts are, what makes you unique and makes you special, if you haven't recognized that, if you're still in a space of just not really being able to identify your own gifts and traits and things that make you special, but you're able to do that with other people, you're going to have to really take some time to figure that out. Because let me tell you, no matter what you look like, what size you are, where you come from, your financial situation, your education level, any of that stuff. Like, we all have God-given talents and gifts that we do not have to go to school for, that we do not have to read no books about. We do not have to. It's our gift God has given us, right? And it's the thing that makes us unique and makes us special. It's usually going to be the thing that comes very natural and easy to you. And so those things are the things that should give you the most confidence, but you're not going to be able to really find and hone in on those specific aspects of yourself until you kind of do that shadow work, and until you kind of get in the mirror and really kind of figure out, okay, that's my thing. I may not look like Halle Berry, child, okay? You know what I'm saying? I may not have the va-va-voom. I may not, be the most accomplished with, my education and have my doctorate and my master's and all of these different certifications and, the comparison thing. And we're going to talk about that. But, you don't necessarily have to have all of that to be deemed or qualified as a special individual and a unique being. That is where you're going to build your confidence, ladies, okay? Once you kind of have that inbred in you, or you've tapped into that part of yourself, you're gonna take joy in being able to see the gifts of all the other women that you have around you. Again, whether you know them or whether you don't. So whether you're scrolling on Instagram, or whether you're talking to your sister friend, or you're talking to your mom, you are going to be able to see, like, wow, I see her gift. I see what that gift is within her. It may even complement your gift. You know what I mean? And once you kind of get more in touch with, who you are and what makes you special. Now, as I said, I was going to go into the comparison thing. And this is not just a social media thing. You could be in the mall. You could be at a restaurant. Whenever you see a woman that is, because the first thing we notice is a woman's beauty, right? So, I mean, if she hasn't opened her mouth, if we haven't had a conversation with her, we're kind of judging her. And we judge each other, male or female, kind of on what we see first, right? So if you're seeing women that may potentially intimidate you because they are really pretty, or they kind of come into the room and they kind of just have that thing, you know what I mean, that we all kind of feel subconsciously, spiritually, we have to ask ourselves, why do I feel triggered? Why do I have a change of emotion? What is triggering me? Why am I feeling like this? And typically what you find yourself doing subconsciously, again, is comparing yourself. How pretty am I in comparison to? How well dressed am I in comparison to? How successful am I in comparison to? Because it also could be a thing of, okay, once she finally does open her mouth, let's say you guys are at a mixer or an event or something like that, where you have your friends there that may have invited you to the event, but then they have their other friends and they have mutual friends, so it's not always people in the room that you necessarily know. And let's say you see one of these beautiful ladies open up their mouth, and now they're talking about, graduating from Hampton or Howard or UCLA or, Yale or, any of these very prestigious universities, and they have all these accomplishments under their belt and all this other stuff. Now we're also comparing, okay, well, what have I accomplished? What do I have on paper that will stand against? So you see how it can get very convoluted, right? And typically we're comparing ourselves in that way because, again, we have not become strong and solidified in what our thing is, what our gift is, because you wouldn't be comparing. You would say, wow, that's so cool. You know what I mean? You might want to have a conversation with her to pique her interest just about whatever it is she may have gotten her certifications or degrees in. Maybe that can help you in your business. You know what I mean? Again, we're not thinking about that in those moments. We're just thinking about, gosh, do I measure up? Because we're so hard on ourselves, ladies. And it's not a thing to be ashamed of. It's not necessarily just a completely negative thing. It is low vibrational, I will say, but we can come out of that, and it's not something that we haven't all experienced at one time or another. You just don't want to get lost in a pool of that and kind of have a cyclical, thing happening with women and how you feel about other women. You know what I mean? Another point that I'm going to make is, typically, right, the only reason why women have issues with other women, a lot of those issues stem from a man. Whoo, are y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let me get some water. A lot of the issues, baby, are stemming from a man. And let's just set the stage. I'm going to set the scenario. I'm going to set it up. So let's say I'm going to put myself in it. So let's say I have, you know, a guy that I'm interested in. Boom, we meet, we start hanging out, you know, it's a good vibe, we're getting to know each other, this, that, and the third. And let's say that because me and this guy are not official, let's say he's still dating, right? Because we haven't made a commitment to one another. He has not said to me that, hey, I am ready to make you the person that I'm partnering with in order to move through life and do these, blah, 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 right? The conversation. We haven't had that. So we're just vibing. And so let's say that I'm aware of the fact that he is dating other women. Now, if I have not, again, figured out what my thing is, what makes me special, what makes me fly, if I'm not confident and secure within that, if I have let past relationships beat me down, if I have let maybe some of the negative words from my own parents or surroundings and people that I thought may have loved me, if I haven't shaken any of that stuff off and it is really deeply, you know, set within my subconscious, when those situations come up, I'm going to be triggered. I'm going to be triggered now that he's dating it, because I like him, right? Because I'm feeling him. He cute. We vibing. Like, he got things going on. We connecting. We thinking about doing these different things. We talking about doing all this stuff. And now you're talking about you dating, right? And so, again, if you low vibe, let's say this too. Because you guys are still friends, right? He may talk to you about a friend that he has, a female friend. He may refer to her as a friend and say, you know, yeah, I have a friend that she, and that's how you know she. I have a friend who just got a gig, you know, dancing on tour with Janet Jackson. You know what I mean? She's an amazing dancer. She's danced since she was a young girl, and now she's really starting to hit her stride with being able to perform and kind of tap in with other artists and kind of bring her art to life. And, you know, I really admire her strength and her courage, and, you know, she's really a solid girl. Like, she's dope. You might be like, you know, on that low vibe, like, F her. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, what's so good about what she got going on? What makes her so special? What makes her so jiggy? What makes her so, like, you know what I mean? And we start questioning ourselves and we start comparing. What have I done? What can I do to make myself? And if you super low vibe, okay, because this levels, again, y'all, this is just a real talk. We're not getting too deep into it. But if you are just under, okay, with the energy, you might go as far as to hate on the girl, to not, you know, well, you know, let's say you know her. Let's say it's somebody that you know, the person that he's talking about, right? Like, what's her name? Oh, I know her. You know, I don't know about her. You know, that's your friend? Okay, well, I heard that she, you know, you was dating all of these guys and stuff like that, and, you know, she couldn't keep no man, and, you know, I don't know. So just be careful. I mean, that's your friend, so I'm not gonna say too much. You done already hate it, okay? You done already hate it. Even if you don't hate out loud, let's say you hating in your mind. Let's say you hating in your friends. Yeah, girl, he talked to me about some girl, whatever, but she ain't even all that. She not even, I know her. I know the people that know her, and she just started doing this dancing stuff, you know. That's a no. Because immediately after you have these thoughts and these feelings, I know you feel like shit. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't make you feel good. You know what I mean? It's not a positive response. It's not a positive feeling or vibration once you've kind of spewed out that negativity and hate. You got to get to source. You got to get to the center of, why do I feel like that? Why did I react that way? Why was I triggered to feel like that? It doesn't make me a bad person or a bad human being. It doesn't mean that I'm not beautiful. She's not beautiful. It doesn't mean that I'm not accomplished. She's not accomplished. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that there are some things that I am holding on to that are preventing me from interfacing with another woman, with another man, as we discuss other women. You know, there is something that's happening within me that's causing me to be triggered. What is it? And it's going to be different for everybody. We all grew up in different circumstances. We all had different insecurities. Some of our insecurities stem from, you know, the skin, the tone of our skin. Sometimes our insecurities come from, you know, just lack of success. Some of us have been grinding, a very, very long time, waiting for the moment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that can kind of put a little pressure on you again, especially if you're doing the comparison thing. Like, Really understand who you are, ladies. That is going to be the center of your evolution, is really getting in touch with who you are. And that's the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's not just the parts that you want to brag about on Instagram and on Twitter. It's not the parts that you just want to be so open with everybody else with sharing because you feel good about those things, right? And you know that it will help people to gravitate towards you because you're putting out so much of this positive thing. Understand that we have duality, so we have that dark side to us, and it does get activated. And it's not necessarily something that we may be maliciously doing, but it is going to get activated until we, chop down the triggers and kind of see where these things are stemming from. So my suggestion would be, I'm always for a good weekend, child. I'm always for a good weekend, a good old-fashioned weekend where you can, sit and think and journal and do like a side-by-side of all of the different things that you love about yourself. Maybe do another side of all of the different things that you want to improve. Some things that you may have had insecurities about, and try to figure out what the source of those insecurities are. For example, child, my butt is, I'm not gonna hold you. She not really holding. Look, I'll show y'all. Now, I never get up. I'm doing the most. I just want y'all to see. It's not really given. For the booty, it's not given, but I'm in the gym. I'm working on it. You know what I mean? They now have surgeries and all this other stuff. It's very tempting, okay? Understand me. But that insecurity that I have had in the past, you know what I mean? Especially considering the fact that now everybody wants to be curvy. I mean, Kim K did take the butt shots out and everything, so they're kind of leading into that flat ass era. We'll see if they're able to take it all the way. But not even acknowledging them as the poster child for a curvy body, that's a whole nother conversation. We're just talking about as far as just like celebrity hype and all of that stuff, right? They've kind of recreated the model of being curvy or what it means to be curvy. Again, whole nother topic. I'm just saying, it's reinforced in our videos, and then on Instagram, a lot of us, even those of us as far as Black women that have naturally curvy bodies have gone all the way on the far end of the spectrum to be kind of like caricatures of our own selves. It's a trip. But that kind of pressure can definitely weigh on you. And even as a young girl, even when you're not even supposed to have all of those curves or whatever, right? I would still kind of get made fun of, like, girl, your little booty and your boop, 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 and da, da, da. And I'm like, it's not that little. You remember hearing these things as kids. That's a good test, y'all. Think about the things that you guys were teased about as kids. I'm telling you, a lot of us have not resolved those things. You will be surprised. You'll think like, I ain't over that. I'm not tripping off of that. Especially if you've heard it throughout your life at different points in times. You kind of have landmark occurrences, you know what I'm saying, that have happened where you were teased about a specific thing. And now you have it in your subconscious that this is a defect within you. So if you see another person that has that thing that you have been kind of brainwashed into believing that is your defect, that's going to trigger you. And you might end up being jealous, and you might end up being a hater. Just because you haven't acknowledged that insecurity really messes with you and that it really exists. And this is something that I had to deal with on my own too, So what I had to do was, just recognize the things that made me special, recognize the things that made Fallon unique, recognize the things that are within me that are not in nobody else. So while somebody else may have something that I don't, and that's not just aesthetic, that could be something mentally, that could be a certain talent or gift or skill that they have, it takes nothing away from them, and it gives all things to me because I am confident in what it is that I bring to the table. So ladies, it is definitely doable. Don't get tripped up about being, what other women are doing, especially on this social media, y'all. Don't get lost into that. Cleanse your timeline. Make sure you're seeing people that actually do inspire you, that actually do make you feel good about yourself, and stay off of, Instagram and stay out of spaces in which you feel like you ought to always have to compare yourself to another woman. You are your own unique individual. Own it. Okay, you guys, so I just wanted to come with another real talk video with you guys. It had been a minute. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing, you guys. I appreciate all your feedback and your comments. I will talk back. Y'all already know what it is. I will catch y'all next video. All right, I love you. Peace.